2020. That still feels pretty weird to say, doesn't it? But with a new year and a whole new decade just around the corner, we thought we'd take the opportunity to fight off those January blues by coming up with our very own bucket list. This is what we're looking forward to from around the world of football next year. Well, this is something a bit different, isn't it? Of course, if you didn't know, we're talking about the fact that this summer's Euros won't be based in a single host country, but all around the continent. Will this detract from that tournament feeling, we hear you say? Well, we don't think so. It should give the tournament a really unique vibe and make international football more accessible for huge amounts of people. It'll also be a great excuse to check out some of Europe's coolest cities, it opens the door for some brilliant footballing road trips, and there's a chance of football coming home at home with the semi-finals and final at Wembley. The success of the Women's World Cup last summer was all well and good, but as we know, the challenge is always keeping that momentum going after a major tournament. And there have been some really positive signs that this time things will keep growing. We've seen great crowds for the Manchester and North London derbies, the Lionesses playing in front of 80,000 at Wembley, and records generally being smashed left, right and centre. So next time there's a chance to celebrate the women's game at a set-piece occasion, get along and get involved. Or any other women's game for that matter. Forgive us for going fully dad on you here, but make sure you get down to Griffin Park before it's knocked down at the end of the season, because they won't be making stadiums like this again. Okay, perhaps there are good reasons for that. Views of the pitch that aren't going to allow you to see the intricacies of a gegenpress, a 15-minute wait to get a beer at half-time and legroom only suitable for people 5'3" or shorter. But with a pub on each corner of the ground, terraces behind both goals and proper old-school floodlights, this ground, hidden among the houses of the West London suburbs, is one of the last of a dying breed. Now, Euro 2020 isn't the only international tournament happening this summer, because at the exact same time, the 2020 edition of the Copa America will be on too. Co-hosted by Colombia and Argentina, the pressure on Leo Messi to deliver an underachieving nation's first trophy since 1993 will be greater than ever. With Messi turning 33 during the group stage and the Copa America switching to every 4 years after this edition, this really could be his last chance. But aside from the whole Messi thing, there's all the fun and games of watching the continent's best go up against each other in brilliant cities like Medellin, Buenos Aires and Bogota. And there's no better way of experiencing how they grind to a halt, completely engrossed in international football, than by being there yourself. The Berlin derby defies easy categorization. Union v Hertha, East v West is a fixture that's only taken place 5 times. And November's meeting at Union's Alten Forestei was the first ever Bundesliga match between the two. Ex-QPR striker Seb Polter scored a famous winner that day, and in March they'll meet at the 75,000 capacity OLYMPIASTADIon. On one hand, it's a sporting rivalry, but on the other, it signifies how far the city and country have come since the fall of the Berlin Wall in 1989. While opinions vary on the level of hatred in this fixture, it's still a derby, and it'll definitely be a lively affair. Football might not be the first thing many associate with Berlin, but with 14 teams in the city, it's definitely a place as rich in football culture as anything else. Okay, now we don't want to jinx anything, Liverpool fans, but this really does look like being your year. Winning a 6th European Cup last year was of course a massive achievement for the club and Jurgen Klopp as he won his first trophy in charge. But it's no secret that the one they really want above all others is their first Premier League. 30 years on from their last title win in 1990, the release across the city, if and when they can finally end the wait, will be special. Whether you love or loathe Liverpool, you can't deny their fan culture, dedication, tradition and passion are up there with the very best in England, and there could be one very big party happening in May. Did you know that 2020 is actually a World Cup year? Not the one with the greatest players on the planet, admittedly, but the CONIFA World Football Cup variety. That's the Confederation of Independent Football Associations, if you didn't know, who organise the tournament for nations unaffiliated with FIFA. This summer in North Macedonia, 16 teams from Europe, South America and Africa will battle it out in the 4th edition of the tournament. Truly a unique part of the football calendar, the tournament is always stacked full of scenes as people from stateless nations and disputed territories celebrate their identities through football.